Right, so welcome back to another video on this channel. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. Now, first of all, apologies that this video is a little bit delayed, but nevertheless, we'll get into analysing this match now at long last. And yeah, as I said, a 4-2 victory for Arsenal at the Emirates, courtesy of a Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang hat-trick. And yeah, overall, another mental game in the Premier League this season, as it usually is when Leeds United are in town. Arsenal finding themselves 4-0 up just 2 minutes into the second half, and then Leeds did get themselves back into the game with a late surge into the game with goals from Pascal Struijk and Helder Costa, which made it 4-2, of course. And yeah, at that moment, I think I saw a lot of Arsenal fans, sweating, a bit nervous on social media, and for good reason, because I think if you're going to concede 2 goals to any team with obviously having a 4-0 lead beforehand, the one team you'll probably be the most nervous against doing that is Leeds United, because we all know how just incredibly extravagant and just insane and wild they can be going forward. So yeah, I saw a lot of nervous Arsenal fans, but in the end, of course, Arsenal did manage to hold on for a very good 3 points, which does move them above Leeds now in the Premier League table into the top half. And yeah, I think if we just go through the goals and overall the incidents that did happen, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang putting Arsenal ahead with his first goal of the game on 13 minutes, a very good finish from him. I think Meslier could have probably done a bit better, but overall I think that he was kind of anticipating that Aubameyang was going to go, across the keeper into the far corner, but instead he went near post. A very good finish from Aubameyang, and Arsenal with that 1-0 lead. Then in 35 minutes, obviously the first moment of controversy in this game, Bukayo Saka going down under the challenge of Liam Cooper, and for me it was just an absolute stonewall penalty. I don't know how in the name of God the referee hasn't given that. First of all, he goes to the monitor, and before he goes to the monitor we actually heard that the VAR assistants were actually telling him not to give the penalty in the first place, which clearly has influenced his decision, because I don't know how he can physically go to the monitor, look at that and think it's not a penalty. I don't understand, because first of all, Cooper has tripped Saka by the ankles, and second of all, he's literally pushed him in the back while Saka's going down in the first place. I just don't understand the logic behind these VAR officials anymore, and to be honest, I actually kind of believe now, I think I've been led to believe that they're actually trying to get decisions wrong on purpose now, because there's literally, I don't know how they actually look at these decisions and go, yeah, that's the right decision. It just genuinely blows my mind. But anyway, of course, Arsenal didn't get that penalty, and then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang did score a penalty 6 minutes later that Arsenal did finally get. Meslier, you could see it coming that he was going to make a mistake on the ball, because I even said it in the early stages of the game. For the first 20-25 minutes, every time Meslier got the ball, he was hanging onto it for way too long, biting off more than he could chew, and I think it was only a matter of time before he was actually going to get punished, which of course he did get punished in the end. Saka going down under that challenge, and Aubameyang slotting the penalty well, as he usually does. And then on the brink of half time, Arsenal did make it 3, and you could say wrapped up the game, but of course the game is never wrapped up when you're playing against Leeds United, as we saw in the second half. But yeah, just really shambolic, poor, lazy, sloppy defending from Leeds United, something that we've seen from them so far this season, in recent weeks, especially with the fact that they are missing some key defenders, which is one thing I've definitely always cut them slack for, and deservedly so, I think. But yeah, just really terrible, shambolic defending from Leeds to allow Hector Bellerin to just run in behind them, and Bellerin with a really good finish at Meslier's near post. 3-0 to Arsenal at half time. And then straight away in the second half, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang did claim his hat-trick. Emile Smith-Rowe with a really good ball across the box, and Aubameyang of course with a free header. And then Leeds United did get themselves back into the game, a Rafinha corner, a very good ball into the box, and what a header that is from Pascal Struijk. I mean, he absolutely nails his head through it, and yeah, a very good goal for him. And yeah, of course, Leeds back into the game, had a bit of belief, and they really made that belief count 10 minutes later when Helder Costa was on the end of his fellow substitute Tyler Roberts' cross into the box. And at that moment, as I keep saying, there was a bit of nerves from Arsenal fans. I saw on YouTube, the likes of AFTV especially, and all the Arsenal fans on social media, there was a bit of nerves in the Arsenal fan base, and for good reason, because with 10 minutes to go, I don't know how in the name of Christ, this is actually worse than Saka's one in my opinion, Patrick Bamford absolutely, blatantly, utterly robbed of a penalty. He goes into the box, and not one, 2 Arsenal players take him out from, completely take him out in the penalty area. And not only do they not give it, they don't even go to the monitor in the first place. I made a video on VAR last week, and if you saw that, I was saying that for some decisions, for some reason, they don't even go to the monitor. And if that's the case, what's the point of VAR? I don't understand what the point is. And yeah, I'm getting angry, even though it wasn't my club Chelsea that conceded this decision. But to be honest, it's just an absolute farce. It's just a shambles, VAR at this stage, and it's not the technology whatsoever. It's the absolute clowns, just the fools in charge of it. It's ridiculous at this stage. But yeah, and to be honest, my last feelings after that penalty wasn't given was what could have been, because if Leeds had scored that, they would have had 15 minutes, including injury time of course, to get themselves an equalising goal. And we have seen a remake of that Newcastle game in 2011, when Arsenal did of course bottle a 4-0 lead to Newcastle at St James's Park, with Czech Tiote, rest in peace, getting that goal in injury time to secure a draw. And yeah, that could have very much easily happened if that penalty was given against Bamford. But you know what, at the end of the day, VAR is just an absolute disgrace. I think even Arsenal fans will agree with that, because Saka should have had a penalty in the first half as well. That was absolutely stonewall. But yeah, to be honest, the one reason why I will cut Leeds a little bit of slack in this game is because they were missing one player in particular if we go on to the lineups, and that was, of course, Calvin Phillips. He's so important to this Leeds United team because the way that they play, obviously, they just go all hell for leather from the minute 0 to minute 90. They just go all out attack for the 90 minutes, and Calvin Phillips is very, very important to that, not only in just soaking up the pressure that the opposition teams give them when Leeds go forward, but also the fact that Phillips is so cool and so composed on the ball. He's very good at spraying passes from deep, and I think that was definitely 100% missed today. I'm not sure what Leeds United's record is without Calvin Phillips starting, but I'm pretty sure I would like to take a wild guess that is pretty bad, and yeah, once again, really miss Calvin Phillips, and I think I only really judge Leeds United when they're without Calvin Phillips, and maybe that's a bad thing for me to do, but he's so integral to this Leeds United team, and I think that, you know, before kickoff I even said on my notes here that Leeds were really going to struggle today without Calvin Phillips in that midfield. But yeah, we can't, you know, make any excuses for Leeds United fans, and even though I have a large Leeds fan base, so yeah, if any of you guys are Leeds fans watching this video, welcome to the channel. I know most of you are subscribed from last weekend's video against Crystal Palace, which of course you were so good in, but I think a lot of you will admit today that it was the complete opposite, for especially the first hour anyway. I think Leeds were really sloppy defensively, and I think the thing with Leeds we've seen so far this season, especially without Calvin Phillips, is that once they go 2 goals down, it's kind of, you know, lights out for them, because even though they were close to making a very, very incredible comeback today, I can't really see any signs that Leeds are going to come back into games when they go 2-0 down, and yeah, unfortunately that was the case today. And yeah, like I have written on my notes here, Leeds, who can be so good at times and can be so good for most of the season, they do have games like this where they are, you know, utterly played off the park, and I think if it was a better team than Arsenal, no disrespect, I think Leeds would have been absolutely hammered, as we saw against Manchester United, as we saw against other teams that they've been beaten badly by this season. But yeah, in terms of the Arsenal lineup and the standout players, obviously we can't look past Aubameyang, who did get his hat-trick and may just be back to his best, hopefully now for the sake of Arsenal fans and the Premier League in general, because of course, even if you don't support Arsenal like myself, and I don't really like Arsenal whatsoever, but you always want the best players playing to a maximum level at all times on a weekly basis, and yeah, hopefully for the sake of Arsenal fans, Aubameyang can use this now to build on his form, and yeah, who knows, maybe get a goal scoring run together that can plough Arsenal up the league table in the next few weeks. I thought Emile Smith-Rowe as well was really good in midfield. I thought David Luiz looked good in the backs for, you know, at least the first hour, because of course you can't really give any of these Arsenal defenders high marks for the fact that they nearly bottled a 4-goal lead in the end, but for the most of the game I think David Luiz was pretty solid and was very good going forward actually. But yeah, the moral of this story from today's game, the things to summarise this game is firstly that of course Arsenal were absolutely blistering in the first 60 minutes of the game, and I think Leeds were just incredibly shambolic defensively. Both Leeds showed a lot of character like they usually do to get back into the game and nearly create just one of the most incredible comebacks we will have ever seen in the Premier League. But I think the main thing to take from this game, once again, is that the referees in the Premier League are just absolutely destroying this league, and that is maybe a big statement, but I just think they are. I just don't understand their thinking for some of the decisions they do give, but yeah, I think that VAR is only going to work in the Premier League once we get rid of these absolutely incompetent fools that are in charge of it. So yeah, I think that is now where we are going to end this video. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like as per usual, because it would help me out massively. If we can hit 20 likes on this video, that would be massively appreciated by myself, and also if you could subscribe to the channel if you are new, that would also be very much appreciated, because we are now looking to hit 1,500 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. So if you do hit that subscribe button, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would make my day, so it is very much a win-win situation. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Arsenal 4-2 winners over Leeds, even though they nearly bottled it in the end, but in the end of course did get themselves 3 points. Aubameyang back to his best, and yeah, see ya.